Good morning. This is Miss Peugeot, Miss Carol Peugeot, and I am going to go over Chapter 1 in the M Business textbook. This is Mod 130, Unit 1, and this is the lecture for Chapter 1. So here we go. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about the basic concepts such as business, product, and profit, and how they relate to one another. We're going to identify the main participants and activities of a business. Let's get rid of that little thing. And we're going to talk about why studying business is important. We're going to list the different stakeholders in a business and how a business's activities can affect the society as a whole. And we're actually seeing this happen in this unprecedented event that we're living through right now. So we'll talk about that. We're going to describe how entrepreneurship is changing the American economy. So that's what we will talk about today. So let's move on. All right. So you can't really see that. Okay. Well, remember how we used to do blue. Now we're going to go back to red. If you see something highlighted in red, then it's going to be important for you to highlight it on your notes. Okay? So, a business is defined as individuals or organizations who try to earn a profit by providing products that satisfy people's needs. I needed a Starbucks this morning. I went to Starbucks and they sold me a coffee which satisfies my caffeine and emotional needs. The outcome of its efforts are products, that's the coffee, that have both tangible and intangible characteristics that provide satisfaction and benefits. So what it means by tangible is the coffee is something I can hold in my hand. This is something that's tangible. Intangible is something more like a concept, like me teaching you. I am teaching you about business. Yes, we have PowerPoints and papers and stuff, but the real product is the knowledge, and that's an intangible product. Okay. When you purchase a product, you are buying the benefits and satisfaction you think the product will provide. A Subway sandwich, for example, may be purchased to satisfy hunger. So your need is for a Subway sandwich. You have a taste for a particular type. You go to Subway, you order it, and therefore you have it. And if it's made right. Okay. So the goal of business, I'm going to have to change all these over to red. If you see it highlighted in red, then go ahead and highlight it. Okay, the primary goal of all businesses is to earn a profit. That is the difference between what it costs to make and sell a product and what a customer pays for. So here's, for example, this cup of coffee maybe costs them $1 to make. The customer, me, I paid, what, $4 for it? $4 something for it. So they made $3 and some change on each cup of coffee. So they make a pretty good profit. Businesses have to pay for all expenses necessary to operate a company. If a company spends $8 to produce, finance, and promote and distribute a product that sells for $10, the business earns a profit of $2 on each product sold. So some products are more profitable than others. Some are, some cost a lot to produce, some don't. Okay, so why should we study business? Studying business can help you develop skills and acquire knowledge to prepare for your future career, regardless of whether you plan to work for a multinational Fortune 500 firm. Those are the large companies, or start your own business, work for a government agency, or manage or volunteer at a nonprofit organization. Business is business, regardless of how big it is or how small it is, or whether it's profit or nonprofit. Studying business can help you better understand the many business activities that are necessary to provide satisfying goods and services. All right. So, additional benefits from studying business. There are logical thinking, decision-making, problem-solving, strong communication skills, initiative, presentation skills, and an understanding of those business operations. So some of these we will conduct in class. Some of these you bring to the table yourself because they're soft skills, but hopefully they are sharpened and tuned here in a business type program. All right, a business profit. Let's talk about that. And we'll highlight this area in red here. A business receives money from its customers in exchange for goods and services. It must also pay out money to cover expenses involved in doing business, as well as take the risk of the business. So for instance, if they spend $2,000 to produce a particular type of cupcake and it don't sell, they're out $2,000. So they take a risk as well. So a profit is defined as what remains after all businesses' expense have been deducted from the sales revenue. So again, cupcake costs $2 a piece to make. You sell it for $3, so their profit is $1 per cupcake. A negative profit results in a loss. And I tell the story of that episode of I Love Lucy when she sells her family's homemade salad dressing, and before she goes and makes the salad dressing and advertises the salad dressing, she never sat down to figure out how much a jar it cost her. So therefore she ended up losing money on the jars. And because she advertised it and she got the orders and they were sending in money, she had to, complete the sales, and she just lost a whole bunch of money. So if you ever find that episode, watch it because it's a good lesson in business loss. Okay, earning a profit. Let's highlight that. Profits are a business's reward for their efforts and for the risk that they take in providing products. Earning profits benefits society as a whole by creating resources that support our social institutions and government. So in other words, when a company earns a profit, they have money that they could put back into society, such as in taxes, but also in money that they spend for their resources, such as they buy supplies, so they support other companies or other entities and other jobs. So it benefits society as a whole. Businesses that earn profit may pay taxes and create jobs, and this is the foundation of our economy. Okay, nonprofit organizations. And let's highlight this first part there. Nonprofit organizations are organizations that may provide goods or services but do not have the fundamental purpose of earning profits. We talked about this a little bit when we did our SurveyMonkey questions. Any money earned above the cost of producing the product or service is redirected back into the business. So examples, not limited to these, but here are some examples. The Red Cross, Special Olympics, Habitat for Humanity, Doctors Without Borders, UNICEF. There's many others. I talked about Blue Cross Blue Shield. Now, even though they're health insurance companies, they are classified as nonprofit. So, moving on. All right, stakeholders. Highlight that. All right. To achieve and maintain profitability, businesses have found that they must produce quality products, operate efficiently, and be socially responsible and ethical in dealing with their customers, their employees, investors, regulators, as well as the community. Stakeholders are groups that have a stake in the success and the outcome of a business. Now, those listed above are affected in the dealings of a company. So stakeholders are anybody who has stake in the profitability or the lack of profitability in a company. Those are the owners, of course, the shareholders, of course, but also employees, Also, suppliers and vendors that supply goods and services to this company, government regulators, but the community as a whole, because also now the community doesn't have this particular company providing services. So everybody's affected in some way. All right, the people and activities of business management. Let's highlight that first paragraph there. Management involves developing plans and coordinating employees' actions to achieve the firm's goals. Management is also concerned with acquiring and developing and using resources. And resources includes people and using them effectively and efficiently. So management is a way of not only leading people, but also learning how to use resources effectively and efficiently. All right, there are 3 types of businesses. Let's highlight 3 types of businesses there, and then these 3 types. All right, so today's businesses are usually organized as one of 3 specific types. There are service businesses, manufacturing businesses, and marketing intermediaries. So let me explain what they are. A service business is kind of like the school. The school is not necessarily selling you a product, they're selling you a service. Or when you go get your hair cut. They're selling you a service. Or dog groomers, or car repair. Manufacturing business is a business that produces a product, such as a bakery. A bakery produces baked goods. A marketing intermediary is a fancy way of saying a store or merchandising. They are a store that buys the products from the manufacturer and sells them to the good. So the word intermediaries means somebody who comes in between. So it's somebody who comes in between the manufacturer and the customer, and they sell the product. A liquor store, grocery store, Walmart, Target, what have you, any type of store. So those are the 3 main types of businesses, and all businesses fit into one or more of these categories. So it doesn't mean a business can't be both of these categories. For example, you go to Walmart, you can get your tires rotated, right? But you could also buy products. Or you go get your hair done, you could also buy shampoo. So they could be both. Or a manufacturing business can manufacture but also sell the products, such as a bakery. They bake the bread, but they also sell it. All right, moving on. Satisfying the needs. The ultimate objective of every firm must be to satisfy the needs of its customer. People do not buy goods and services simply to own them. They buy them to satisfy a particular need. They're hungry, or they like the way that knick-knack looks on the shelf, or all their friends have one, so they want one. When a firm loses sight of their customers' needs, they are likely to find the going rough. All right, limited resources. Let's highlight that last little area there. Economics is the study of how wealth is created and distributed. By wealth, we mean anything of value, including goods and services. Businesses, firms, governments, and individuals face decisions every day when it comes to a limited resource. Do I take the vacation, or do I put the money into an investment plan? So everybody has a limit on the amount of resources that they have. You get a paycheck, and you have to pay your bills, and pretty soon the paycheck dwindles down to a particular number. And so you can't have everything that you want. So you have to make decisions. The word scarcity means the lack of resources, either money, whether money, time, or natural resources. All right, moving on. All right, microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics is the study of the decisions made by individuals and business. So it's the study of a particular, maybe a particular household's finances, how they deal with it. Whereas macro, because that means large or including all, means the study of the national economy or global economy. How does it affect the people on a whole, on an entire basis? So maybe the United States complete. So it's going to be interesting after this quarantine is over to see how businesses recover from this, because there are some businesses that are hurting. So it's going to be interesting, and people are already forecasting how they're going to recover from this. So we will see. All right, factors of production. Resources are used to produce goods and services. There are 4 such types of resources. There's land and natural resources. The United States has a lot of land, and we do have natural resources. Labor, that's the people who work. Capital, that's money. And then entrepreneurship is basically the intelligence and creativity to be able to market a product. So those are necessary for success. All right, let's talk about economic systems. All right, moving on. We have capitalism. I'm going to highlight this first paragraph here, the word capitalism. Somebody's screaming out there. Hopefully it's just a kid playing. All right, an economic system is in which individuals own and operate the majority of the businesses that provide goods and services. So in other words, the businesses are mostly privately owned. The United States is a form of capitalism. We're actually a mixed economy, but that's a form of capitalism. It stems from the theories of the Scottish economist Adam Smith. He argued that a society's interests are best served when the individual within that society are allowed to pursue their own self-interest. And he calls it the invisible hand, which is a term he created by Smith to describe how an individual's personal gain benefits others and a nation's economy. Capitalism is a free enterprise. It's a system of a business in which individuals are free to decide what to produce, how to produce it, and what price to sell it at. There are 4 intimate and fundamental issues of capitalism. Number 1, the creation of wealth is the concern of private individuals, not the government. Number 2, individuals must private own and the resources used to create wealth. It should say privately owned. Economic freedom ensues the existence of competitive markets, and the role of the government should be limited in a capitalistic society or a capitalist economy to providing defense against foreign enemies, ensuring internal order, and furnishing public works and education. All right, a market economy is an economic system in which businesses and individuals decide what to do, produce, and buy, and the market determines the quantities sold and the prices. A mixed economy, and this is really what the United States is. The United States is a mixed economy. That was one of our SurveyMonkey questions, because the government runs the education system, indoctrination system. A mixed economy is an economy that exhibits elements of both capitalism and socialism. It's guided by interactions of households, businesses, and governments. So I want to make sure I was on the next one. All right, households. Households are made up of individuals who are the consumer of goods, services, as well as the owner of some of the factors of production. As consumers, household members use their income to purchase the goods and services produced by business. About 70% of our nation's total production consists of consumer products, goods and services purchased by individuals for personal consumption. All right, governments, the numerous governments include, or the government services include, the police, fire protection, education, construction of roads and highways. To pay for these services, taxes are collected from sales tax, income tax, and property tax. All right, socialism. Socialism, just highlight those, where the key industries are owned and controlled by the government. Land, building, war materials may be the property of the state. People may choose their own occupations, although many work in state-owned industries. What to produce and how to produce are determined in accordance with national goals. Example of socialism is the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is a socialist country, although people often think it's not. It is. So socialism is a lighter form of communism. It's not communism. It's a lighter form of it. All right, and speaking of communism, there we are. Communism. Karl Marx was the father of communism. It advocated a classless society whose citizens together owned all economic resources. All workers would then contribute to the communist society according to their ability and would receive benefits to their needs. That's the ideal. That's not necessarily how it worked, but that's the ideal. All right, the entrepreneur in business. An entrepreneur is an individual who risks his or her own wealth, time, and effort to develop for profit an innovative product or way of doing something. The free enterprise system provides the conditions necessary for entrepreneurs to succeed. The United States is a type of economy where ideally the entrepreneur should be able to work hard and succeed. Ideally. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work out that way, but ideally that's the way it should work. All right, the American business scene. Entrepreneurs are constantly changing the American business practices with new technology, especially the internet. That has opened up so many doors. Innovative management techniques. The internet, social media, as well as the connected world has opened opportunities for practically anyone. Anybody with a computer can open up some type of business. Not only for market there, but conduct business online with a much less startup cost than a brick and mortar type of business. Whenever you hear the word brick and mortar, you think of a building. When it's brick and mortar, it's a building. Where it's online, of course, it's internet. Okay, so in conclusion, whether you choose to work in an organization or become an entrepreneur, you will be required to know the basic concepts and principles of business. Our society needs strong economic foundations to help people develop a desired standard of living. This course will introduce you to the concepts principles, and skill sets you need to be successful in an ever-changing business world of today and tomorrow. Okay, guys, that's it for Chapter 1. Make sure you read it and continue reading Chapter 2 and 3 for Week 1. All right, that's it. See you next time. Bye.